cast it a second time from within the ward.
Ah, the double cast. That's how we get so much damage and MP back so quickly. Very clever timing.
That's the core setup. Once that's rolling, the fight basically settles into this incredibly consistent rhythm.
Okay, so once the machine is running, what does that sustainable cycle look like? Paint the picture.
Cloud is just chilling in his arcane ward, firing off massive Thundagas or Aerogas, double casting them, and his MP just stays full because of MP absorb hitting twice.
The self-sustaining current. Check.
Aerith is doing the same, basically. Casting her big damage spells, maybe Swift Cast, Blizzaga, or Faraga, and then, thanks to auto-unique ability, Pop, she teleports right back into her own ward automatically after every cast. Safe and sound, dealing huge damage.
Safe, auto-positioning damage dealer and support. Check.
And Yuffie, she's the pulse. Constantly dodging, maybe throwing her shuriken, just pumping out ATB for Cloud and Aerith, making sure they always have the bars they need to cast their spells the instant they come off cooldown.
It sounds like an unstoppable feedback loop. Damage, MP recovery, ATB generation, all feeding each other.
That's exactly what it is, a self-sustaining engine of destruction.
Okay, let's apply this. The rulers of the Outer Worlds gauntlet. How does this foolproof method handle those specific notorious fights? Phoenix, for example. That one's a nightmare with all the fire.
Right, Phoenix. Usually terrible on hard mode because of the constant fire damage, but with elemental fire in Clouds and Aerith's armor.
They heal from it.
Exactly. It completely neutralizes Phoenix's biggest threat. It turns Rebirth Flame from a wipe mechanic into a free heal for half your party. And Aerith's Swiftcast Blizzaga is perfect for hitting it quickly before it flies around too much.
Okay, Phoenix is sorted. What about the others, like Bahamut and Titan?
That pair. You primarily focus on Titan with Aroga from Cloud. Titan's weaker to win, so he'll go down faster, simplifying the fight.
Focus Titan first. Got it. Odin and Alexander. Alexander's arms are usually the key there.
Yep. You hammer Alexander's left arm with Cloud's Thundaga. It's vulnerable, goes down quick. Once Alexander's out of the picture, you could even turn off Magnify on Cloud's spell to focus more damage directly onto Odin.
Makes sense. More focused damage once it's one-on-one. How about Gilgamesh? He's just annoying, especially the frog thing.
Gilgamesh can be a pain, yeah. He's weak to fire, so Aerith's Faraga will chunk him hard. The main thing there is just timing. Yuffie's Brumal form dodges correctly to avoid his attacks that inflict Toad. That's one spot where you actually need a bit of reaction skill.
Dodge the frog.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the final exam, Sephiroth.
Sephiroth! It's surprisingly straightforward with this setup. Quick start. Yuffie throws her shuriken, dodges a bit to build initial ATB fast.
Get the engine started.
Then boom! Cloud Thundaga, Aerith Arcane Ward on Cloud, double cast. And you just keep doing that. The sheer consistent damage output overwhelms him pretty effectively. It makes what feels like this ultimate test remarkably manageable.
Wow. So the consistency is the key. It's not necessarily about being the absolute fastest clear, but about being almost guaranteed to win.
That's the core idea, yes. The source stresses it's foolproof because of the consistency. It removes so much of the hard mode pressure. But that said,
yes,
skilled players can definitely speed things up, mainly by using Yuffie's Faith buff more aggressively. If you time that team-wide magic boost well, the damage output becomes truly insane. The source even mentioned getting very fast, clear times without really trying to optimize for speed, just by playing the build well.
So it's consistent and has high speed potential if you push it. Best of both worlds, maybe.
Pretty much.
And this whole setup, this Cloud Aerith Yuffie magic engine, it's not just for the Ruler's Gauntlet.
Oh, absolutely not. The source is clear. This works phenomenally well for pretty much any hard mode story fight too. Just dominates.
A universal hard mode solution then.
Largely, yeah. And the principles, you know, the ATB generation, the ward synergy, the MP recovery. You could even adapt parts of it to other characters if you really wanted to, like maybe swap Yuffie for Tifa if you understand how to keep the ATB flowing differently. The core ideas are transferable.
So there it is. Cloud, Aerith, Yuffie. The magic nuke setup. It takes arguably the hardest challenge in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it kind of breaks it. Makes it consistent, almost routine.
It really is less about perfectly executing difficult mechanics and more about understanding and exploiting the game's systems, how materia, abilities, and stats interact in ways that maybe weren't fully intended, but are incredibly powerful.
A testament to finding those deep synergies. It's not just a strategy, it's like unlocking a hidden layer of the game's rules.
Exactly. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
If this combination of gear, materia, abilities, If it can so profoundly break or at least bypass the intended difficulty of a super complex game like FF7 Rebirth,
Yeah.
what other hidden synergies are out there? Maybe not just in games, but in, complex systems anywhere, software, work processes, anything.
Mhm.
What other rules in games or maybe even elsewhere are just waiting to be bent or completely reinterpreted if you just look deep enough and experiment creatively? What else can be broken with the right understanding?